reason I'm introducing him, y'all remember I was sponsored in this club by Steve Joye, which is my wife Melissa's, one of her younger brothers. Her other younger brother is Chris Joye. And since he's here today and Steve isn't, I'd like to introduce you to my favorite brother-in-law.
Tell Steve.
But he's been married to Patty, his wife, for 29 years. He has 3 beautiful children, Carolyn, Mark, Carson. Mark, the middle child, was the black sheep of the family. He went to Wofford. The other 2 went to Clemson like he and his wife did. As I said, he's a graduate of Clemson University. He got his MBA at UNC Greensboro. His certifications, his specialty obviously is IT. That's information technology for those of you that are my age or more. His certifications are security, PMP, which is professional management of projects, and he's a certified internet webmaster as well. He is past president of the Irmo Lake Murray Rotary Club, as well as, I love this, he was a board member, coach, and a certified umpire for the Irmo Little League. So we have that in common as well. James's mother used to babysit for all the Joye kids, so there's a nice little connection there as well. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you the first time he came to my office and started telling me, I was embarrassed about how much I didn't know about information technology. So he will entail you and how much in peril your security may be at the house and at the office. Chris Joye.
Thank you for allowing me to come in here and talk a bit about cybersecurity. I was at the Chapin Club this morning. I had this presentation, Health and Happiness. Gentlemen, you did a great job. But there was one comment from this gentleman. What is a gimme in golf? Gimme in golf. It's 2 people looking at each other and agreeing that they can't putt. That was great. Cybersecurity. How can we protect your information and your assets? Just a comment. With enough time, anybody can be hacked. I'd love to tell you I got a silver bullet for you that can solve all your problems on your computers, your servers, your challenges at home and at work, but I don't have it. I use this analogy often. When you have a challenged person coming into your neighborhood looking for something easy to steal, number 1 is they look for a deadbolt. That's good. Number 2, they look for a security system in the house. If you have both of those, they're probably going to an easier target. Good. Same thing with technology. There are things we need to put in place, I'm going to talk about today, that will allow these people to go to an easier target. You make it difficult for them. Again, Melissa, I'm glad you're here. Terry, you're definitely my favorite brother-in-law. Thank you. I only have one sister. Information. A lot of times we talk about information, I mean, Social Security number. Oh, they got my Social Security number. As a businessman, just like you are, and in your home, there are other things that you don't want people to get. Let's talk about it. For my company, I don't want people to find my client lists. I don't want people to look at my financial information. I do keep financial information at home on my computer of monies we have or what we've invested in. In your company, you've got financial information within your systems. Proprietary company information. You may have small businesses. You need to keep that confidential. Contacts. I don't want people to know who I'm contacting or who my clients are. I plan just like you two what the future is. And there's competition out there in my industry and in yours. I don't want to share my strategic planning information. So, at your business and at your home, you need to contain that. You need to protect it. And the things you can do. There's a whole bunch of other things you want to keep, but again, everybody always thinks a Social Security number. No, it's a lot of information you don't want people to know about. One of my favorite speakers is Cavett Roberts. I've listened to him over and over, and one of his thoughts was, hey, you're in the people business, solving people's problems. I'm not telling you you got a problem today. I'm just telling you when you do, and if it does happen to you, there's a tremendous amount of frustration going on. I have a gentleman that had lost his identity. Somebody was posing as him in Wisconsin. There was all kind of frustrations of credit cards and credit reports and so on. Access to financial assets. Had a gentleman at the beach 2 weeks ago that works for me. He was on the end of Ocean Isle in a nice house with his family. Gets a call from Wells Fargo on Thursday. Sir, are you in New York? He went, no, I'm at the beach having a good time with my family. He said, somebody's had a good time with your account information from Wells Fargo in New York and was spending lots of money. But what he had done, got on his laptop in his house, dialed up through the wireless network. It was not secure. Somebody on the street or next door picked up that signal, got his sign-on and his password, and had a good time with his account. Again, frustration, challenges. In my own business, if things go wrong with my computers, I can't run things fast enough. I live and breathe a computer. I wish I didn't, but I do, and I think you do too. At home, we are becoming more and more attached to, well, that computer doesn't work now. I got a virus on it or whatever. So there's frustration. So back to Kevin, solving people's problems. If we can contain that coverage to protect your information and assets, you're not going to have the frustrations, and that's a good thing. At the very top, you see the companies that have been hacked or have been breached. There's a difference between something that's been targeted or breached. A target is if you've got a firewall or some type of malware or antivirus, things are hitting it all the time, but they're being repelled. Good, they're supposed to. That's what protection is all about. A breach is they got in, and you don't want that to happen. 91% increase of targeted attacks in 2013. The scary one is 62% increase in breaches in 2013. I think that number's higher because a lot of people that have breaches don't want you to know about it. This is the scary one. 38% of mobile users, this magical device, have experienced some type of mobile cyber crime in the last 12 months. What's interesting on these, I love a computer. I live with them. You probably do too. My children, this is what they work on. They do everything on their phone. They do transactions, they shop, they spend money. Mobile crime's a big deal. What is cyber attacks? You may hear this from Billy back in the back because he takes care of the IT stuff around here. Viruses, malware, worms, trojans, so on. The second one concerns me the most. Criminal insiders. People in your organization that are releasing information and shouldn't. Or they're gathering information and they shouldn't. We always talk about organizations and people coming from the outside in to your internet or whatever. These days, people are going into companies and taking laptops. They don't take your information anymore. They steal the whole tower. They're breaking into companies and they don't care about grabbing flash drives. They'll take the whole unit. Just be careful with that. We can talk about how you protect it a little bit better. Comments. Data breaches are among the most common and costly security failures in organizations of any size. That's a change from 10 years ago because breaches were not data oriented. But the last one scares me the most, and this is what my company is focusing on, the small business person. While targeted attacks in large organizations continue to increase, attacks on smaller companies are increasing even faster. I'm sorry to tell you, and I'm a small business too, ignorance is not a good excuse. You've got to be prepared. The small businessman and woman must be prepared. Either you're one person or 5 person, you've got to set up things to slow them down. 3 things for security. 1, prevention. Slow them down. Put antivirus, malware, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. This is what's scary. Detection. I went to a client the other day and did an assessment, and there was one computer that a nice lady was working on in the company. It had 39 spyware items on the computer. They didn't know it. So You may have things in place, but you've got to constantly sweep them to detect if you've got a problem. And then last but not least is recovery. Please, at home and in your small business, do a backup. Do a backup. If you have some type of problem with malware or antivirus, or your computer has a problem, you're going to have to sometimes wipe it clean and restore it. You're only going to be able to restore it from a backup. Now, let me give you a horror story. I worked for a large company up in Charlotte, a Fortune 500 company. Years ago, we had big disk drives where lots of data was stored on them. One evening, one of the heads on the drive crashed the drive, so we completely lost the drive. We went to a backup. We do backups every night, every day. They're always there. Went to the first backup, blank. A week ago, blank. A month ago, went back 6 months, blank. Had a job running every night doing a backup. It wasn't backing up anything. Well, recovery's neat. I appreciate that. But just please, in your company, sporadically, take your backup, go to a computer and restore it, and see if it works. It's scary. So, prevention, detection, recovery. So what, Chris Joye? What do I need to do at home? What do I need to do at home? A lot of software will be antivirus and malware. Norton, Symantec, WebRoot. Do me a favor at home, make sure you've got both an antivirus and a malware at home. I'm a believer of malware bites. Works great. But there's other ones. AVG, there's a bunch of them, and I can give them to you later. But have both of them on your computer. Now, I had somebody call me the other day and went, oh no, my subscription ended on my Norton last month and I forgot about it. Well, it doesn't mean your antivirus went away. It just didn't update it. So when you see these updates coming down for your antivirus, accept them, because there are things they find they want the software upgraded with. So please do that. Patch management. Patch management is Microsoft and all these big companies have updates to their software. Accept them, because they found something they need to fix. Accept them. A lot of people go, I hadn't really done it in about a year and I've got a malware. Well, yeah, something new has been found by these hackers and they're using it and you didn't upgrade your malware. Do your patch management. As we talked about, do a backup of your system. You can buy backups. You can, there are units that you can plug to your computer that does automatic backup for you. But please, get a backup. These days, when Time Warner Cable or AT&T Universe comes in your house and hooks up your internet connection, in most cases, they bring a wireless device with it, in most cases. For me, they were going to give me one, and I bought my own. That wireless device is powerful because it connects you to the world. It also allows other people to connect to the world if you don't have it secure. So, what do? Strong passwords. What's a strong password? 8 characters. Just put 8 characters. Put one number on it and some type of period or dollar. I like sentences, because when I look at passwords, how do I remember VX, small t, 268, going, I can't remember that day today. I like sentences. Like we got a dog called Zoe, boxer trouble dog, which is a lot of fun. But so I always make sentences with Zoe. Zoe barked today, dot, or something, or Zoe's number 1, dot. I remember that. So make a sentence, make it something you can remember. My hair's going away, or whatever. Just you can put things down there that you can remember. When you get this wireless device, it has an administrative sign-on. Change it. It comes with one with the software. Go change it. Put a password on it. And last but not least, make sure these newer wireless devices have protocols that allow it to talk to things. You have to have a protocol to let this computer talk with a wireless device. Those protocols are advance over time to become more solid. Make sure yours is WPA, WPA2 protocol. Look on it. That will show it encrypts and it's strong on your wireless that people can't get in. Last but not least, at home, encryption. You can put an encryption piece of software on your computer at home, it costs like 60 or 70 bucks, so that if somebody steals your computer or wants to get on your computer and you don't want them to, that data is garbled. You don't need to encrypt Microsoft Office. You need to encrypt your data. So this software will say, well, how much space you want. Put 5 gig there. And you stick files in it, and it encrypts them. So that when you log on, sorry, you're going to have to unencrypt it or do an unlock. But it's just a password. No big deal. But encrypt your data. I have people, clients that travel all over the country, and we'll talk about this from a business perspective, that are very dynamic, and they have laptops. Oh, my laptop got stolen. They got everything. Not if you encrypted it. If you encrypted it, they got nothing. So neat stuff. Also at home. You live and breathe these devices. I love my cell phone, my mobile phone. Well, the things you need to do to it. Number one is you need to put a password on it. Lock your screen. 4 characters, no big deal. Put it on here. Make sure that you've got GPS on it. You can find it. I just talked to a guy today that was in Florida, and his daughter lost her phone. Somebody picked it up, went to a challenged side of town. He cut on GPS, went to her apartment, had it beeping, and said, "That's my phone." She went, "Oh, is it?" "Yeah, he got his phone, GPS." You can encrypt these devices. I've got emails on here from my company. People don't need to see that. I encrypted it. The one I like the most, remote wipe. This is really cool. If you lose your phone and you don't know where it is and you want to have no one be able to use it, there's a thing you can do is called remote wipe, and it's easy. You set it up and you go on and say, "I've lost my phone," wipe it, and instantly your phone will be blank of everything. It's free. Do it. Put your phone and make sure it's secure. My children, I keep telling them to do this, and as they grow up and get out of the house, they go, "Oh yeah, Dad, don't worry about it." So I continue to work on them and try to get them to be more security oriented. Let's switch to business a little bit. Many of us own small businesses. Building security. I have a lot of clients that don't have any type of security in their building. They may be inside a building. That's fine with me. Just make sure if you are exposed to have, it's not real expensive to get ADT in there or whatever, to have motion detectors, because you don't want people to come in and steal things. I work with a lot of CPAs. They have filing cabinets out, the yin-yang, full of files about you and me. Put that behind a locked door, and at night, lock those cabinets, because people can come in and look at them. I have one client that does not allow the cleaning system to come in, or cleaning organization to come in, unless he's there. Smart move, because you don't know what's going to happen. Lock the cabinets, who's got the keys, and also fire suppression. Many of us are growing as far as our business. You start off with 1, you have 5 and 10 and so on, and people come in with the right attitude. They need to do things the way I want them done. Policy and procedures. I'm not saying go crazy on them, but you need to have policies on passwords or clean desk policy. I had one client, which was great, had passwords, and he did a great job with them, but I said, "What happened if Billy leaves tomorrow? Can you get on his computer?" "Well, no, I don't know his password." Get it. You got to have it. Also, patch management. We talked about it. Encryption. I can't tell you enough. If you've got laptops or desktops or servers with data on them, encrypt it. It's not hard to unencrypt it and then also back it up. It's not real difficult to do that, but unfortunately in small business, we're very tactical. We're out there trying to make money. I respect that. But please do me a favor and think a little bit strategically of preparing for the challenge. What could happen if this laptop was stolen? Are they going to get anything? I don't mind if they get my laptop. I'll replace it. The question is did they get information they shouldn't have gotten? And then last but not least, networks. If you've got a network that adds more complexity, it can be done. There's software packages called HIDs and NIDs and that do intrusion protection software for your network. It becomes a little more dynamic, but it can be done. But still come back. Prevention, put the software in place, but check to make sure that software is working. A big part of our business is managed services. Hey, are you looking at who's trying to hit you? Or are you following up with that? Are you stopping them before they're getting in? So managed service is a big part of it, and then recovery. So your actions from this: number one, go home. We're all going to go home. Check your wireless router. Make sure that it has got a strong password on it. Number two is make sure that wireless router is WPA, WPA2 protocol. If not, go buy another one. That means your neighbors can use your Wi-Fi. You don't want that to happen. Number two is secure your mobile phone. At a minimum, get the remote wipe. If you lose your phone, wipe it. I had a guy in Charlotte, I got in just a second, that somebody went in his truck and swiped his phone. And he knew who it was and sent him a message and said, hey, I have your phone, it cost you $50 to get it back. He said, keep it, it's not worth anything, I just wiped it. So do that, and also do backups at home. It's a pain, I know that. But one day your computer's going to die on you. You can recover from it. For your business, these small businesses, I did an assessment for Terry. We do them, you can find other people to do them. Bring somebody in, it's not going to cost you a whole lot of money, but do an assessment on your company. Just what can be done to make it a little bit tighter. Two, from protection software, get some antivirus malware, but I heavily encourage encryption. Encryption is a big deal, and it works. Secure your building, but then last but not least, write and enforce security policies for your employees to do things right the first time rather than, well, I didn't know. Not a good excuse for a small business. With enough time, anybody can be hacked. Let's try to slow them down. Thank you. How long do I have, sir?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, 3 minutes. Any questions?
I got
Yes,
a
sir.
question. If you back up in the cloud, like with carbonite and stuff like that, is that good enough?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just do me a favor. If you use that sporadically, deploy it back down to make sure that backup can come back the other direction and recover from something. Also, when you're using that, just make sure that connection to the cloud is secure. I'm sure Billy can help you with that. I just worked with a client the other day, and a piece of software is used FTP, File Transfer Protocol. When you send that stuff back and forth, you may want to use an FTPS, which means it's secure. So yes, sir, Kryptonite works great. Yes, sir.
What is a sonic firewall?
There are different types of firewalls. Sonic is one of them, and purely a firewall is something that slows down things going out and definitely stops certain people from coming in. So a sonic firewall is a type of firewall. It does work well. I work for a company that said you're not going to go any nasty sites, you're not going to go to ESPN, you're not going to go be able to check the Wall Street Journal. That's a firewall saying those websites you can't go to. Anything else? Yes, sir.
I think last week it was announced that there was a major breach. 1.2 billion usernames and passwords from 60,000 plus companies' websites. How did they manage to do that? Are these folks exchanging passwords?
The internet is a connection of many computers, and when you come in, there's just lots of. We always think there's somebody over there typing all day long trying to get information. They can get computers to do the breaches for them. So what he's talking about is the breach of 1.2 billion emails and passwords. How they got it, it's not very difficult to get to one of those hubs. Let's say you hit GoDaddy, which is a major supplier of domains and email. They could get in there and get lots of stuff. But somebody said, well, what's the solution to that? Change your password. Change your password. Now, hopefully, if they've gone in there and they try to change your password, you can change it back and be informed.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it sounds like they were targeting one or two select, but I didn't think that any one company had, or any two companies had that many usernames and passwords for that many different websites.
You know what's scary for me is, I do a lot of business with, and I bet they a lot of times go, oh, you got a Gmail account, you got an Outlook account. I bet if you add mine up, I have 10 different email accounts, only checking one, but they want me to have their email account. So it could be redundant on the person, but they got that information. Anything else?
Talk about patches. How do you distinguish that it's a genuine patch from IBM versus a fake guy who's trying to come in with a Trojan in a patch?
When you get what patches are available, look up at the top and see if it's HTTPS connection and that it says Microsoft or it says GoDaddy. And if it doesn't, don't accept it. And then go directly to that website and say, what's available for me to update? Now, a lot of times I get patches that are recommended or optional. I don't do those. I do the mandatory at this time. So be selective of what you bring down. Bring the ones that are required. The others you may want to be concerned about and don't get right now. It's 1:55. I was Rotarian. I understand being on time. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.